Husky fans, welcome into episode number 9 of NIU Weekly. I'm Andy Garcia, alongside the Associate Vice President, Director of Athletics here at NIU, Sean T. Frazier. Sean, great to be with you again. Didn't have a show last week, a little bit of changes, now with football getting into action and all that, but we got a really good show, a lot to talk about. Again, episode number 9, and we want to make sure that if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, NIU Athletics, not only do you get NIU Weekly, you get press conferences, highlights, a lot going on now. We get into the month of November, so definitely subscribe to this YouTube channel, NIU Athletics, and see everything that we've got. And again, we're moving to Maction, Sean, so we're getting ready for football on Wednesday night at Kent State. So the show's now going to come out for a couple weeks now on Tuesdays. So Tuesdays comes out the show. We'll be on for football on the next couple Wednesdays. So looking forward to that, Sean. And we didn't have any football last week, but we did have a little bit of a different type of football, and that's men's soccer. I know you were out there. What a great weekend for men's soccer, and to get the MAC regular season championship here in 2021. They beat Akron. NIU right now, number 16 in the nation. That probably should be moved up in a little bit when the rankings come out. But to beat Akron the way they did on Saturday, Sean, you were out there. Great crowd, great atmosphere, had the trophy for the regular season champs, and that was something special. I'm really excited for Ryan Swan and how he's built this program, Sean.
Yeah, Coach Swan has done. He's done a great, just a great job with building the program, but more importantly, bringing in young men who get it done academically and athletically. It's great to see the building blocks. When we first hired Coach and hear him talk about his vision, talk about what could be, and then going out there and executing that with a group of young people are just phenomenal, just great human beings. And it's great to see the progression, the team unity. It's like a mini League of Nations, so to speak, that we have different backgrounds, diverse, come from different places on the globe, obviously here in Chicagoland included. But, it's great to be able to see the level of success and, quite frankly, the execution that went on out there. I'm no soccer aficionado, but I've been around soccer for the majority of my career, and to watch the ebb and flow, just the overall talent that we have is great. And they handled their business, did a great job, and then now put themselves in a position to further receive accolades and wins, both in the MAC tourney as well as in the NCAA tourney. So kudos to the whole program for getting it done.
Yeah, again, so men's soccer's got one more regular season game at Portland, but then NIU will host the 2021 Men's Soccer Championships here in DeKalb. NIU will be the number 1 seed, of course. They'll play. That'll be played on Thursday, November 11th, with 2 semifinals, and then the championship on Sunday, November 14th. Details in those matches available soon, so just stay tuned on that. But the MAC Soccer Championships, the men, are here in DeKalb starting on November 11th. One other huge thing, we talked about it last week, Sean, about the Huskies Invest, the week of giving, and it was a published goal that you were looking for $350,000, and it's over $1 million, Sean. Am I correct in that? And what kind of projects can get started with that? Where's that money going to go? And I know none of this could not have happened without the fans and the donors and everything that came in. That was just an unbelievable week.
Yeah, I'm overwhelmed. We had obviously, the wins we've had with soccer and football and all the things that are currently going on in the fall. But Huskies Invest just took my breath away. First off, I want to say thanks so much for Husky Nation. You stepped up. You continue to do that. You continue to answer the bell. And I want to say publicly, thank you for all that have contributed and who have continued to contribute during these efforts. Yes, it was a whirlwind of activity, a lot of projects, a lot of firsts that happened. I was the first time we've ever plateaued after $1 million. And we still even have gifts coming in to this day. So again, just fantastic, historic time. Last year, we tipped over the $600 and something thousand during the COVID year. And I thought that was phenomenal. The goal was 300. We put the goal at 350, more so to make sure, again, that we were doing the right things with estimating what we felt that was out there. And again, we were wrong by the efforts of Husky Nation tipping it to $1 million. So, 5 days, over $1 million, that's quite significant. Kudos to TJ Fairbach and the whole HAF team for making it happen as far as the operational side. And then just the whole NIU athletics for rallying behind this effort. We all know about adversity. We all know about what's happening with COVID and all the other things. But to do that in a really concise effort and to launch projects from tennis to baseball, it's just so many folks that got involved in this effort. It was truly phenomenal. And I want to say again, personally, thank you. We've initiated this activity since I've been here. Huskies Invest has really been a shining spot in putting a face on athletic fundraising. And I'm really proud of all the men and women who are involved in this process. So just a fantastic job.
If you didn't get the chance to donate and you still can, you can go to huskyathleticfund.com. Again, over $1 million in Huskies Invest. And again, all of it going to the student athletes and the projects there. Very excited. And again, thank you to all the donors. Like Sean said, couldn't have done it without you guys. And that was outstanding. That's pretty cool. And we got a really fun show. We're going to talk a little football. We're going to talk to Tony Sorrentino. He's the assistant coach. He works with the wide receivers and also with the pass game. So we're going to talk a little offense today with him, and also a little basketball. We're going to talk to Rodney Davis, NIU Hall of Famer, men's basketball. I think he's now going into his 10th year on the radio side as the basketball analyst with Bill Baker on the radio. So we're going to talk a little football and basketball. Exciting show, but let's start with some football. NIU football is on a 5-game winning streak, the only undefeated team in the MAC as we get ready for Kent State on Wednesday night. We're joined by Tony Sorrentino, NIU assistant coach, works with the wide receivers and also with the pass game. And Tony, it's great to get you on. And boy, you guys are on a roll. 5-game winning streak. The offense has been clicking. I know you got to be excited going into Kent State on Wednesday night.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me. Definitely excited. The guys are working hard, and it's been awesome.
Let's talk a little bit about you, your background. I know you've worked with Thomas Hammock now the last 3 years, assistant coach here. You go back with Thomas back in the Minnesota days, but you worked in the NFL, in college, high school. Give us a little bit about your background and how you got to NIU.
Yeah, lucky. My first big Division I job was Minnesota, 2009, where I met Coach Hammock. We had a great rapport. 2010, we both actually got promoted at the same time. He got promoted to offense coordinator. I got promoted to the quarterbacks coach. We had a great time, kept our relationship, our staff. We had got let go, so we kind of went different places. Was able to go down to University of Miami, from there to Jacksonville Jaguars for 4 years in the NFL, which was an amazing experience. And Thomas followed 1 year after I was in the NFL. He went to the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens. So we played against each other, always stayed in contact, saw each other at the Combine, the Senior Bowl, all those kind of things. From there, I went to Tennessee, then to FAU, and then Coach Hammock called up. And we came up to NIU. It's been awesome.
You've been here since day with Thomas, and you guys have built it from the bottom up to what you guys have done now. Where have you seen the most improvement? Where have you seen the most joy in what you guys have done so far?
I think honestly, it's the relationship. It's not only the relationship with the staff. Coach Thomas lets us be ourselves. He lets us coach. So everybody has a great relationship staff wise, and then with the players. We could be ourselves, and they know, and we're recruits. We don't change. You're not one recruiting coach, and then he's my position coach is a different guy when I get here. He lets our personalities come out. The guys believe in us. We believe in the guys, and the culture is exactly what Coach Ham had in mind when we built this thing.
Sean?
Yeah, talk a little bit about personnel, Coach. Obviously, young talent is clear in your position group. But talk a little bit about what you like about them. You can single them out if you like to. Don't give it all away, but just give us a little bit that the viewers can understand what you're dealing with and what some of the expectations are.
The receiver position is interesting because it could be there's 3 different kind of guys, if that makes sense. So obviously Tyrese Ritchie is an exceptional talent, but his work ethic is what guys don't understand. People don't understand. Sits in the front of meetings, takes great notes, works his butt off. He's jacked up, in the weight room. Junie gets him going in the weight room, and he's really a student of the game. Luckily, we've been with him for 3 years, so he's been able to really learn and understand football, and his talents take over on game day. The room in general is very versatile. We have a bunch of different guys that can do things. Trey Rudolph being that young talent. He's obviously explosive with the ball in his hands. Cole Tucker's been with us for 3 years. He actually, my first year I coached the inside receivers also. So he's been in my room for 3 years, longer than anybody else. So he kind of knows the expectations. And then you got Muhammad Torre, who kind of does everything for us, Messiah Travis and Fabian, who have really elevated their game since being here. Then Billy Dozier, who was like Trey, a walk-on who earned a scholarship. And those guys, they have no egos. They'll do whatever. We want to run the ball 50 times. We'll block. We'll block. If we need to throw it 50 times, obviously they'd be fired up about that. But we'll make the catch and we'll go. Whatever we need to do to win. And all those guys play special teams. So when Tyrese Ritchie is your punt returner and Trayvon Rudolph is your kickoff returner, we're talking about dynamic. We can't get the ball in their hands enough. So it's been awesome.
And not just a relationship with the wideouts and what you guys do, but with Rocky Lombardi or the quarterbacks too. And we've seen that connection, Coach, where we've seen some big third down, fourth down conversions where Rocky's been able to get it to Tyrese on some big plays, or Trayvon, even Messiah Travis on a big catch as well. But later, it just seems like that quarterback wide receiver relationship's got to be there, and we've seen that even get better as the season moves on.
100%. And I tell the receivers this: I'm an open book. I'm going to be very honest with everybody. The quarterback is the most important guy. Bottom line, I know we coach receiver, but Rocky has leadership that from day one we saw. He gets those guys. They develop the chemistry on their own. Listen, we practice, we do all that, but it's the extra stuff that they do. That he meets with the guys on his own, which I think is just huge. He's a leader, and he demands from those guys, and they appreciate it. Everybody wants to be coached. Every player wants to be coached, and Rocky helps with that. And we have a good thing going right now.
Sean?
Yeah, it's interesting. We take a look at where we've been and where we're going, right? You talked about the quarterback position, but your group has had some significant growth. Okay, we know we have three, Tyrese doing his thing, but then you've got this underclassmen, and then Cole. I don't want
the mayor of DeKalb. How do you forget him, Sean?
I'm not gonna mess with my guy. That's my guy there. But talk to me a little bit about how that chemistry has developed, because people know we run the ball, right? We run the ball, but this group has shined through all that to have an identity. So talk a little bit about that maturation process, that season versus new. Give us a little bit of a behind the scenes look at how that's coming together.
So like I said, I'm an open book, and it just is what it is. I'm very open with our guys in the room. So we want to vent anything out. We vent it out. We always say, hey, keep it tight. We protect the room. So we could talk whatever it is. And I'm a big, this is why. Hey, guys, this is why we're doing this. So let them understand what it is. I got a lot of guys in the room that want to coach, so they can see, hey, our job is to get them ready for real life besides football. So, hey, this is why we're doing that. So, and I do think we have guys in this, the team in general are fantastic kids. But the room, they have no egos. They want to win. Last year, we learned a lot, hey, 0-6 changes guys sometimes mentality in a good way. And it did for all of us. So these guys, they want to win. They're competitors. And honestly, we have a deep room. So I think competition breeds the best for these guys. So they know, hey, if they don't have a good practice, that next guy's right there ready to go. And we play a lot of guys. It's college football. We got to keep these guys engaged. We have packages for guys. And I think that's important. And everybody feels a part of it. They really do. Trey Erweiler's coming along as a freshman. Yeah. Well, we want to play him in 4 games because we don't want to, burn his red shirt. But he's a guy that these guys see. He works his butt off every day, and he can run. And we have speed. Speed at the receiver position is key, and that's what we have. And we just want to get those guys the ball in space. It's all about people getting those guys the ball.
You mentioned Trayvon Rudolph, and again, we've been waiting for a kickoff to come back for a touchdown. He finally got it, but for me, that just gives him more confidence. And I think we've seen it, Coach, on the offensive side, where he's come up with some big plays. Even last week at Central Michigan, it just seems like his confidence is growing. We know Tyrese Ritchie, he's got confidence, right? We know he's going to go out there. But it seems like even Trayvon's learning from Tyrese and just learning D1 football, getting through that first year, coming in the second year, that his confidence is continuing to grow. And I cannot wait to see what we see from Trayvon Rudolph, not just this year, but moving forward.
Yeah, 100%. He that's exactly what it is. He's a competitor. He loves football. He's my recruiting area too. So I've been around him a long time. Before COVID, I was able to recruit there. Comes from Crete Monee, which is a great place. His head coach thought wonders of him. We were able to get him here, which has been awesome. And he does learn from that room. And Richie and Cole, the leadership. Cole's a very smart football player. Richie's a very smart. The leadership that they have for Trey, and sometimes it's tough love because he is still young. And they get him right in that aspect. but he was a quarterback. He knows football, super savvy, and sometimes I coach him a little bit harder on the field than others because of the strong relationship. And that's what I've told my guys. Adversity is going to strike us, so we have to have a relationship. And honestly, in that room, we do. And sometimes on the sideline, the other one's pulling me back. Hey, get back, coach. You know what I mean? So it's all about the relationship piece. I know I say it all the time. The guys make fun of me because I always talk about relationships, but that's it. Because adversity is going to strike, whether it's on the sideline. Adversity is how are we going to respond to that? And that's one of our big pieces. So Trey is very exciting to watch. As a kid, he's a fantastic kid. Love him.
Yeah, Sean mentioned the run game, and NIU very strong in the running game, but the wide receivers are a big part of that with the blocking and having to do that. And again, let's be honest, wideouts they don't always want to block, coach. We know that, right? We want to catch the ball, but how important is it for the wideouts on this team to do their jobs in that run game?
It's huge. I say it all the time. Our head coach is a running back coach, and he was a running back. So we're obviously going to run the ball. Everybody but Muhammad is from Illinois in our receiver room, which is also important. So they know the elements. Yeah. We know what is expected. We carry the ball too. So we know if we have the ball in our hand, we got to make a big block for us. And guys like Muhammad Toure is not just he's a great receiver, but he is tough. We're physical. The weight room, obviously we believe in that. And these guys, they just want to do everything they can to help us win. I say all the time, to be an elite receiver, you have to be a complete receiver. That's the bottom line. I talk about the NFL days with, hey, each guy knows their role. And that's kind of what we do in the room. Hey, this is your role. This is your role in the team. All right, maybe next year or as you grow and learn, your role might change, but this is your role. Embrace it and let's go. And if it's special team, if you're a 4-core special teams, be the best 4-core special teams. You make a plan. Billy Dozier started making plays on special teams. Okay, Muhammad goes down with a concussion. He goes in and does things that Muhammad normally does. I mean, that's how it progresses and the steps they need to take.
Sean?
Yeah. So with all that said, how good could this group be? Give us a snapshot. You got a mixture there. How good can this group be?
So two things, on my Twitter, I always talk about rat poison and I always talk about we always open. Hashtag. So I truly believe that. There's no 50 balls I get fired. It's 80-20. 80% we're going to catch it. 10% is going to be PI and 10% is going to be a bad ball. Right? That's what I say all the time. We're going to catch the ball. And I do think we are a special group. They're a special group because they're special individuals and they feed off each other. Celebrate, all those rules that I try to implement in the room. It's not about me. It's about them. Hey, celebrate with your teammates. Be as excited if Cole Tucker catches a pass, if you're Messiah Travis, as if you catch a pass. And that's the stuff that you have to instill. And honestly, I've learned that from a whole bunch of different guys I've been lucky enough to be around. And those are the best teams. Those are the best groups, the close-knit relationships. So they can be very good. I try to keep them humble. I say, I go to Trayvon. I went up to Brett Bostad the other day at practice. And I said, hey, has Trayvon Rudolph changed since he got here? So I make, kidding, but letting them know, hey, don't change. Do all the things that got you to where you are. Keep being like that. And, you gotta have fun with the guy. And they're a great group. They really are.
One last question for you. We're getting ready for Kent State Wednesday night. You guys won 5 in a row. The offense is clicking. How do you continue that at the Golden Flashes on Wednesday night?
Yeah, I think our playmakers have to play well. Don't make it bigger than what it is. Do exactly the things that we do in practice that have gotten us here. We have to catch the ones that are thrown to us. We have to do a great job blocking. We have to make plays on special teams, and then just play within ourselves. The playmakers have to make plays and just be able to control the ball. And I'm excited about watching these guys play Wednesday night.
Tony, it was great getting you on. Continued success, and hopefully we can get one on Wednesday night.
Let's do it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
From football, we move on to men's basketball. We bring in Rodney Davis, played here, Hall of Famer, men's basketball. Now starting your 10th year doing radio, years. Bill Baker and commentary. 10 years, but yeah, good to get Rodney Davis on, talk a little basketball. Also going to talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame this year as well. With Rodney being a Hall of Famer, he's the Hall of Fame committee chair, so we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But Rodney, you and me were out there on Saturdays. We watched the men's team get out there and take on St. Francis. And we finally got to see the team together, right? We've seen some practices. We may not got to see them in front of people with a different team, a different opponent. Give me your thoughts early on this men's basketball team.
Well, I think for the most part, it was kind of what we expected early on. A little jitters, I think, at first. When you have 6 returners as well, and then 7 newcomers, Three of those, I believe, right there, three being freshmen.
Yeah.
Everyone getting a feel for, being in that environment. The home fans are kind of waiting to see what the new team will look like. I think all of that kind of played into the slow start. The effort was there, I think, which was good. I think the energy was there. But I think after, that first half got going, they kind of showed some things of what to expect here in the future. And I think it's going to be exciting to watch. And as they progress, I think they'll only get better.
Sean?
Yeah, I think that's spot on. You know what it needs to look like, my friend. If anyone that knows who have blood in the bricks is Rodney. Rodney's got it. It's been a joy to have you during my ride here, and as a consigliere, as I would call, to let me understand what we have to do for this program. Talk to me about, just overall first impressions. The jitters aside. You talk to Coach Berno. You've seen the ins and outs. You kind of watched our process. What's your opening vibes as we kind of go into the season?
Yeah, I think what we'll see that's going to be a little different. I think so far as the defensive pressure full court. I think it's going to be more so picking up, trying to get a faster pace of the game. I think which will be a welcome for all the fans to see, getting up and down the floor a little bit more. I think also, as we see all of these guys kind of gel, I think that's one of the biggest things that's going to have to happen here pretty quickly as they have a tough schedule coming here in November, is how quickly these guys are going to gel. And with the six returners, I think Coach Berno is going to rely on a lot of those guys to kind of help the newcomers really kind of pick up what it's going to be like being out there on the floor against some of these big competitors coming up. But for the most part, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. I like the pace. I want to see more leadership, someone to take that role on. I know Trendon is kind of the guy, so to speak, but I think he's kind of laid back at times. I'd like to see him be a little more vocal on the floor, but and be that floor general, that floor leader. It was good to see Caleb Thornton come out, really have a solid, really into the first half and then into the game, really control the tempo. I think we'll see a lot more from him, getting other guys involved as well. So, again, it's coming around. They shot better in the second half. Everything seemed to click a lot better. It really struggled early on shooting the ball. I think three-point shooting is going to be huge because a lot of teams now use the three ball so much more, and I don't think we utilize that enough in years past. So I want to see those guys being able to open the floor up a little bit more to be able to knock down some more of those three shots. So all in all, though, I'm encouraged, and I'm hoping that we can see that trend continue in that direction.
And you mentioned you guys are going to be on the road the whole month, and you're going to Washington, Indiana, Missouri. You've got some big-time matchups. So, yes, in some ways, Rodney, we know this team's going to gel, but it's going to have to be against some adversity, right? They're going to go against some teams that are going to be favored, and it's going to take, like you said, the Caleb Thorntons, the Trendon Hankersons that have been here, the McCoys, the Zul Quest, to mix with the Keyshawn Williams and some of the other new names that we're going to hear about. And again, is it going to be easy? It's not, but they're going to learn the hard way.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be thrown into the fire, so to speak, real early. And again, I think that's going to be a test coming up for the MAC season late in December. They should be ready. And that's really what this is all about. Can you get better each game? Can you get over those jitters early on? Can you get that out of your mind of being wowed by the crowd or by your opponent? I look at it, any other game. I would have the mentality going out that we're going to win this game regardless of who it is. If it's Ball State or DePaul, we're going to win this game. So if the mentality can be there from the team and we can see progression in that direction, I know Coach Berno wants to win, which is great. And that's what, the expectation is. Let's go on with an expectation to be competitive, and then let's kind of ride that wave into the MAC season come into December.
Now, I'll lead both of you into the next question. And I'm sure Coach Berno talked about it with you, Sean, in the interview process about accountability. And we've seen that with this team already. They've got accountability. They're going to hold each other up, but also some freedom with their play. We saw a little bit of freedom, some options that they're going to have on the offensive side as well, Sean. And I know when you interview Bruno, he had a set mindset of what he wanted, but we've seen it early, accountability and players standing up to each other and standing for each other. We've seen that already just in the practices and the one thing we've seen so far on the court.
Yeah, no, it was a big piece of this process. As I leaned on folks like Rodney and just overall what has been done in the past. What we didn't want to do is bring someone in here who was going to replicate what we've seen here for a while relative to being competitive and then taking to the next step for championship play. Obviously Coach Bruno's pedigree, second to none. Billy Donovan, Bobby Hurley, DePaul, Chicagoland. He checked off a lot of boxes, but what really was fiery for me is that his hunger. I remember those days. Relative to just being hungry for something and to do something, to execute something, and I like that, and especially having a coach that was not going to also compromise standards to get it done. So he was able to articulate that outside of the people that chimed in on his behalf, as well as while he was in the session to talk a little bit about what could we do if we do X. And I think understanding Chicagoland, understanding NIU, understanding, the landscape of college football, college basketball, and understanding what that is, because a lot of movement going on right there. But then what you've got is the MAC. Now, that's where he's got to learn some, but he's also was with a coach. They came out of a very successful program in Buffalo where he's able to kind of put that together. So he had all the pieces, but again, we will see as we kind of go through this process. I mean, a trust but verify type of individual, as you know, but the things I've seen so far have been pretty good.
Rodney, I'll let you add on to that.
Yeah, and I also think, as a player, you want the coaches to keep you engaged, but you want to stay accountable. And, and you want to do it in a way where a coach can get on you, but still pat you on the back, still give you a high five and say, job well done. So then as a player, you're going out on the floor and you're going to give it your all for that particular coach. And it seems as though that's what I'm seeing already. There's a situation where Coach Bruno is going to take an individual out because they may have made a bad play or just took an ill-advised shot or something like that. But you also see them coming back together, pulling him right back in, talking to him before he goes back in the game. So the expectations are there. So players, you expect that as a player, and you are hungry for that, as a player, because you really want to please that coach, and you know what that coach is wanting. And I'm pretty sure from what I've seen already, everyone knows what Coach Bruno wants, and that's the key. Every player knowing what his role is going to be on the floor, and then going out there and executing. And if you're not, then there's going to be consequences of maybe taking some time off, a couple 2 minutes off on the bench, but then you're right back in there. So those type of things I think are going to be key, and that's what I'm seeing already as well.
I want to talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame. And you're a Hall of Famer, men's basketball. You've been, as Sean said, you've been in these fights, and you've been here and played here. And I know you're the committee chair for the Hall of Fame, and I know this is a nomination year, it's Hall of Fame year. So just kind of expand on that for some of us and the fans, just what that means. And I know this is very important, and I know we want to get the right guys and right players and teams in. And I know that started. When did that start with nominations, Rodney?
Nomination process opened up a couple of weeks or so ago, right around homecoming time, and goes all the way through the end of January. This will be the 34th induction class coming up since 1978. One of the, if not the longest running Hall of Fame classes in the state of Illinois. So when you look at 212 individuals over the span since 1899 of being in athletics, only 212 individuals have been selected into the Hall of Fame, 18 teams and one family. So this is a big deal. And as you know, it's a great time to come out and support, not only Husky athletics, but these individuals and teams, as well as administrators that have put so much time and effort into, NIU athletics over the years. So yeah, the nomination process is open. It stays open until the end of January 2022. The actual Hall of Fame banquet will be, because of COVID year, we're normally on odd years. And of course, now we're kind of moving out of that season, but we weren't able to kind of bring that out this year. So we've taken it to 2022. Every 2 years, from there. So every even year starting in 2022, we will start having it. Looking for homecoming of 2022, we actually have the 34th class.
That's awesome. Good stuff. Sean, I know you're close to that, and that's exciting to hear about the new nominations coming in.
There's no question about it. It's a special moment for NIU and NIU athletics specifically. We do it right. Been indoctrinated since day one, being a part of this process. I'm humbled to do that. We do a great job. Rodney and group will do a fantastic job with vetting through all of the candidates, and hopefully that we'll have a one heck of a time. It's always a special time when we bring back Huskies who have contributed such a large way, not just to the athletics side of it, but to the institution. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be really good. We're going to put the dog out, so to speak, make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's always good. I get giddy. That whole tradition never graduates with me is real. And then it really is crystallized through the Hall of Fame. So
hey, listen, enough talk. All right. Tuesday, November 9th, we get some basketball, some real basketball. All right. NIU men taking on Washington out in Seattle. Rodney, safe travels. Looking forward to hearing you and Bill all season long. And good luck with the Hall of Fame, but also good luck with the upcoming season and safe travels, my friend.
Thanks a lot, Andy and Sean. Thanks a lot for having me on. And before I let you go, those that want to go on and participate in the nomination process, go to NIU Athletics, NIUHuskies.com, go to the Hall of Fame link, and then you have even an online form and a registration form that you could do it either online or mail in. So wanted to get that plug in as well so people know how to go about doing that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the season. It's going to be a grind in November, but I'm expecting big things from this team and look forward to seeing throughout the season.
Looking forward. Thanks, Rodney.
Thanks a lot. Go Huskies.
That was fun talking to Tony and Rodney, a little football and basketball as we wrap things up. We're getting used to now and then November, Sean. And again, we've got football, basketball. We got the end of soccer going up, and we got some other gymnastics and indoor track getting ready. So it's a fun time. It's some upcoming football taking on Kent State on Wednesday night. We'll be on the air 5:30 p.m. Central Time on the air. Bill Baker, Mark Lindo, myself, and the kickoff around 6 Central. TV is ESPN2, so turn the volume down on TV, turn us up on the radio, and you'll hear the Huskies and Golden Flashes go at it on Wednesday night. Men's soccer at Portland on Wednesday. Again, it's the MAC regular season champs. One more game out in Portland. That's on Wednesday. We got women's and men's tennis on the road this week. Volleyball's at Akron on Saturday night. When we wrap and start getting ready for basketball, women's hoops is home next Tuesday, November 9th, taking on Illinois State, the men on the road that night. So you can get out, see some basketball next Tuesday, November 9th. Women's hoops, NIU taking on Illinois State. As wrap things up, that's fun. Talking a little football and basketball, Sean. We get ready for a big one on Wednesday night. See if the Huskies can go on the road at Kent State, continue to play the way they've played, and try to make it 6 in a row.
Yeah, no question. Just gotta, survive and advance. This is what MACtion's about. It's also too, the boys are playing for something special. They've done what they've needed to do up until this point. But again, it's that process of continuing, being consistent on what you're doing. Coach Hammock is definitely got them playing at a very high level. We got a very worthy opponent. It's definitely going to be all we can handle and more. But again, the young men are ready and they're excited about this opportunity.
And we'll be on the air 5:30 p.m. Central Time on the radio Wednesday night. NIU taking on Kent State. I want to mention too. I mentioned volleyball was at Akron Friday. They're also there Saturday, so want to make sure I got that out for them. But it's a fun week, exciting. I want to thank Tony Sorrentino, Rodney Davis joining us, and Sean. Always your time, appreciate it, and I'll see you on Wednesday.
Thanks a lot, Andy.
For Sean T. Frazier, I'm Andy Garcia saying thank you for watching NIU Weekly. We'll talk to you next week. Go Huskies.